UIC. Freedom the people of need. Hell yeah. Freedom the people of need. Yeah, yeah. Freedom the people of want. Freedom the people of need. Yeah, yeah. Freedom the people of want. Freedom the people of need. Yeah, yeah. Freedom the people of want. Freedom the people of need. Yeah, yeah. Real man a road. Now bow wolf in a tree grand a road. Now bow down to no demon a road. UIC when you see man a road, me say yeah. Real man a road. Now bow wolf in a tree grand a road. Now bow down.
Hello and good evening to another edition of UIC Liberty TV. This is Joseph Patterson coming to you live from St. Elizabeth, Northeast St. Elizabeth to be exact. Tonight we're going to be talking about the taxi strikes that you're seeing going on in different parts of the island. You would have seen some activities in St. Thomas and you would have seen some activities in the Kingston and St. Andrew area. No doubt causing some serious pains for commuters. Not a laughing matter at all, nothing to joke about. It's a serious indication of the country coming apart at the seams. You're getting used to seeing a number of actions by our people, whether it's teachers, departing our country in droves because they're salaries are so low and working conditions are so bad, or you're seeing farm workers having serious problems being set up by their governments to be taken advantage of as slave labor in other countries. And you have seen the deplorable conditions over in St. Thomas, the long stretch of roads that have been dug up and creating quite a pain and hassle for the commuters. And the last couple of days, you now saw the taxi operators coming out in their numbers and deciding that they're going to withdraw their services from the commuting public. Very, very serious. The country is in trouble. Good night to all of you who are on. Welcome, Cool Guy. Welcome, Alan Scott. Welcome, Maurice Williams. Good to see you on. I'm just waiting for some news from our staff. I think we should have some interviews coming up with some taxi operators. I know earlier today, Carlene Ramirez Acosta, a UIC representative, and others were out in the field talking with taxi drivers about what's happening, what are their concerns, and there are quite a bit many that's going on. I also saw a clip on TVJ where they were quite expressive of themselves. Hopefully we can have that tonight as well to show to you and to discuss, really what's going on and what the UIC can do about it. So we will definitely have a few persons on shortly. Do we have the clip from TVJ that shows the taxi drivers expressing their outrage? Is that available for us to show now? Welcome, Sylvester, Lawrence, good to see you on. Let's see if we have that clip that we can show you and talk about. But it's really sad when you have a government for, it's a star? Okay, I saw one on TVJ. It doesn't matter, whoever it is, let's take a look and see. But it really is a very serious matter that after 78 years, we do not have a government that is able to ensure, effective public transportation. It's quite a mess, the way that it has been designed, the public transportation system. It's quite messy, a lot of disorder, disconnection between the transport authority and the police. It seems to me that the government is trying to use the mayhem that's in our transportation sector to gouge the taxi drivers, taxi operators, to milk them, to extort them, to use the power of the state to force them into a corner and to get as much money out of them as possible. What are your thoughts? Are you ready for the clip? Let's see the clip now if you're ready for it.
One beat, one fight. See me? One beat, one fight. This is a body. A bus operator. Everybody has the same pride. We as bus operators have backed withdrawal service on a peaceful demonstration because of the problems that we're being faced by the police. The amount of tickets that we are being issued with, the vehicles that are being seized illegally for things. Those are some of the things. There are no bus stops along Constant Spring Road. So if we're supposed to let off the people them, when we let them off, we're being ticketed. And yet still, the infrastructural developments that are there are positive. But nobody takes into consideration the bus operators. So in other words, they are treating us like mercenaries within our own country. But we are contributing to society positively. We move 70% of the working force. We move 80% of the school children. We pay tax on a daily basis, as well as we contribute to society in other positive ways of employment. They're going to take up your bus up there, so use brute force for things. And when they take it up, the examiner come and the examiner say the vehicle is fit, but yet see, we have to pay the wrecker fee, which it takes us 2 days to earn that money that the wrecker man is taking away in 5 minutes. So how it is positively affecting us? It's not. It's affecting us both mentally and physically. You can't provide for your family when you accumulate $20,000 worth of tickets. It cannot happen.
We are targeted by police on North Woodland Avenue overall Constant Spring. North Woodland Avenue is a place that they give with the park, taxi and buses. And as you come around the corner, police are pulling over and give you a ticket. But the police are stop you on the place so they say we park and I give you a ticket. Then I give you one. A 4 and 5. 3. If they don't like you get 6. That's what them are dealing. This is the situation, you know. I like things that do it by North Woodland Avenue with the police. And then I like you get whole ticket. And every day I get it. Them all tell them and say, oh God can't come make you not get 3. And them way there. And them type of way the police are dealing with the situation. You understand? It's a serious thing, you know. I drive a bus and I collect a little money a week time. And I get at least 10 tickets for the week when I'm going to pay that. A little bit that still, you know. I tell you that. Yeah, that the 10 tickets that we may talk about sometime at one time. But me just say 10 for the week. You can analyze up that time. Check it out. 10 tickets at $2,500. And that's how we have to put in. Just count that and tell them how much money that. When we get it from mining, pick them. In bars, if we get the money, or we go and work out. So you know where I'm going now. I'll jump off myself and I'm going to turn to a different lifestyle. Somebody ticket them, you know, have to get them. Because you come on out, what you have in the way of the far. You're in a line of traffic. And a passenger just supposed to can't go and come out. Police see you, then ask passenger a question. A 3 ticket that. One time. You understand? A 3 that at least. A 3 that. You understand? It's an overall thing when I tell you about. And I'm in a add on. I'm in a put you up. I'm in a try. I'm in a do it extra neither. I'm telling you what is exactly happening. This is the situation. Them too serious with the pan North Woodland. Because the squad of the pan North Woodland, they are so write a ticket and I'm going to down this. But the taxi man have to get in 5. So at the end of the day, they must see that. That's reality.
How long have you been out here?
I think I've been out here from after 8 to 9.
From after 8?
I can't get any vehicle to go to work.
Really? So where do you work?
Well, I am a merchandiser, so I have different locations. So today I should be on the boulevard to Constant Spring, still no vehicle to go. And then even if you do try and get something, not guaranteed to go home back.
Alright, so this is affecting your business, obviously.
Yes, because I think it's really unfair right now. My company is paying me for this to work and I literally cannot go and work. So it's unfair for them as well and for me. So
So this is affecting your income.
Yes, and my company's income as well.
So the company have reached out to you already?
Well, I spoke to my sales rep, supervisor, let her know the problem that I'm having. Yeah, so I'm just trying to see if there's any way I can still reach, because as I say, it's best I make an effort than just go home.
A police is taking their job personal. A police stop you and I'm gonna tell you point blank so him don't like you. So instead of you're being ticketed at once, you have a badge. Yeah, alright, you have a badge and you're being ticketed because you were not asked for a badge. You have a fire extinguisher, they ticket you for it. You were not asked for it. You were stopped for one offense and you take it. We have a driver within our company and he was stopped for one offense and he got 9 tickets. 9 tickets. One get 8, one get 10. One man get 11, one man have 12, and next man have 7.
One man get 22.
How can that? 19,000, 20,000, 30,000. How do you provide for your family? When it's happening?
Justice alone, me I say. If 2 days out of a week, examiner come and take for your vehicle, say it's not fit for the road. Them now go to Golden Spring, Templar, Pengas. Them now go some place a Whitehall and them place they go see some hole. If it's full of water, baby and pick the drown. The road not fit for your vehicle them. So if vehicle go fit for your road. No talk truth, man.
When the road bad, it mash up the vehicle. Right. So if the road first and then they can tell me it's a road with
how much time for a week you can buy a tire in a rocket?
Yeah.
And as you go down here, going a couple of and rock 2 times that lick out.
And shocks.
And shocks. I use shocks for a Pro Box. All 11,000. That's some year they must sell that. How can I style that? So at the end of the day, how you have to fix that every week?
Yeah, work for fix vehicle and pay a ticket, that's all we do. So one the bills and what we had.
I would pick them.
I would pick them. Or then go school. And watch I know, when you hold of them ticket I can't pay. See? You know what got license suspend and we don't have a job. And we don't have a job now, where you think we're going to do? Do the maths.
We had a meeting, but the meeting was with SP Kessler, Inspector Steele, Mr. Anderson, who is one of the operation manager at the Transport Authority, and Miss Nicola, I don't remember her last name, but I was told that she's an acting manager also. We need a meeting with the head of Peace Depots, Mr. Gary McKenzie. We need a meeting with the Minister of National Transport and Works. We need a meeting with the National Security Minister. So we need those meetings because this is not affecting the economy in no positive way. Because a lot of person has gone home. The country has lost a lot of production in a negative light. So this needs to be highlighted. They come and they hear our cries. They are willing to address it until they can put it in law fully. Then we will go back to work.
So how long will this?
We are not going to say, but as long as they hold out, we can hold out.
The country is set up for government alone and win. And does the government win and poor people ever lose? Now watch out. When you robbery for much years, I charge you $15,000 for no PPP. When never amen. That never in a no law. So the government are the biggest scammer. Look at it now. We pay all of the money there now. Want to the reimbursement. What we get back? Instead, we no amen one new set of ticket. What even there?
The frustration coming through. Let's see this here. Thank you. You must have been able to feel the frustration coming through as each of the speakers expressed themselves. It's really very painful because what we have is a situation where the government has no accountability. It is able to do whatever it wants to do, but the poor taxi operators must resort to this kind of action to be able to get some attention. I have on the line with me one such taxi driver, Mr. Desmond Myrie. Welcome, Mr. Myrie.
Yeah, man. Good night, Mr. Patterson, and the entire Jamaica.
How are you doing, sir?
Why I want to tell my eye, Mr. Patty, so when me look on the start thing, you know, because I really something are going, you know?
Yes, yes.
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
really.
as I watched the clip, I saw it earlier today, and I've been talking with some taxi drivers, including yourself.
Yeah.
A few things jumped out at me. One, I'm seeing where there appears to be some over ticketing taking place. I also see where there's a seizure of vehicles taking place and the cost of you to recover that vehicle. And I'm seeing where there are no proper infrastructure in place, so proper bus stops and so on. And so as the taxi drivers seek to cope with that situation, they're being ticketed by the police on top of it. Now, you and I know that that taxi drivers are not the most well-behaved people on the road.
Right.
But we also know that our government is not the most well-behaved government in the world. So there are some problems on both sides, but let's be fair, balanced, equitable, and reasonable. So let's begin first with the ticketing problem. What is causing the ticketing problem? What's happening there?
All right. Mr. Patty, so, you see, it not really matter how well you try if you avoid getting a ticket. Once you run a taxi, you are going to get ticket. All right. Now, I'm going to give you a simple scenario about me. You see, for the whole summer, I have my taxi. I have a 7-seat taxi, a 7-seated car. I'm run as a taxi. Well, everything. I never get my budget, but I have the receipt.
Yes.
My fully license, insurance up, everything up. It's straight. You understand? I refuse to go out and earn an honest bread based upon how the officers treat people on a whole. For instance, I'm going to give you a simple scenario whereby I stop one night, I load right at the NCB at the Harper Tree. You're not supposed to do it still, but that is where the people then is. And I stop and I get some load. But what happened now, I never see the police. But instantly, the police just stretch inside, lock off my car. I order me to come out of the car. I say, officer, you're supposed to lock off my car. Or I order me to come out of the car because me do something illegal. You're supposed to give me a ticket. You're not supposed to lock off my car and I order me to come out. So what happened now? You see that me I stand up for me right now. So when him do now, him start to give me ticket left, right, and center. And then him start to say, you want more ticket? Because the moment you stand up,
yes.
It's over. The police or the system treat you.
Yes.
Yeah, understand.
So
but
it's
what?
an abuse. It's an abuse of power. It's an abuse of power.
It's all police.
Yeah. So him as a police officer, so what I must say is you don't have the right to question him. If you open your mouth, and seek to stand up for your rights, he is going to abuse his power because he knows that he has the handle and you have the blade.
Right.
Based on the system. Okay. But one thing though, Amira, before you continue, the reason why you stopped where you did in Halfway Tree, close to the bank there, NCB Bank, and pick up the people is because that's where the people were, right? So the people congregate in that area. Now, why wouldn't the people go to another spot? Where's the nearest spot for them to have gone to? Where should they have gone?
There's no other way. Once you're going downtown, because we operate from Halfway Tree to downtown.
Yeah.
So once them going downtown, and it's a taxi, them are go right there, so them are go come. If them are take a bus, them would have take the bus inside of the JUTC park.
So where you have the bus terminal, which is a little bit further down, going north, if they were taking a bus, There's a space there for them. They know to go right there, so, and get the bus. But when it comes down to taking a taxi now, there is no designated spot along that.
No.
So the government fails to provide a designated spot, and then the police ticket you if you stop and pick up people who are waiting to go home or trying to get a taxi to go home. So in other words, you must, if you're going to do a business like that, you must operate illegally because they have not designed it for you to operate legally.
Yeah. What happened now? You have a legal, your papers them legal, everything about the car legal. But what happened? You cannot function. You cannot work as though you really want to work. A lot of time when I go out to go work, me literally, if me go out, you know, normally taxi thing is a thing whereby you go out early and you come out, you come back in like about 6 o'clock. Me no normally do that. I go out like 1 o'clock because once I go out, my engine constantly running because anytime I do it like that, you end up get a lot of ticket because you keep running. You keep moving, you know, stop. Right. Once you stop, you're going to get a ticket. Once you stop somewhere and pick up. So it's like the people them have to us, they're at a certain place and whenever them flag you down, you have to look around and see the police before you even stop. Once we see a police, you know, I not stop.
You can't stop.
This type of system, Mr. Patterson, type of person what me is. I love to help people. That's how me is. The type of way of them make taxi things, you know. You see, if you see a old lady or a 1 foot man or so forth, you think it hard to take him up as much as you want to do it. But what happens if you take up that man and when you have to let him out, it might take so long to come out of the taxi. So by the time him to come out, probably by the time him come out, you get a ticket.
Right.
Although you have the heart for help, it's like when you see an elder person or a 1 foot or disabled person, you have to just do it quick and move. That's all you have to do. You understand that? So the system literally take your money each time you pay your thing them. You them just take your money and that's it. Now go list out the things them.
So the system is designed. It's designed to bring out the worst in the taxi driver. Because remember now, you have to run jostle and try to find a way to make a money within a system which is not designed with clarity, which is not designed for the efficient and effective running, for you to know exactly what you can or can't do, and for the commuter to know exactly what they can or can't do, and for the police to be able to operate and focus on people who are truly breaking the law. Instead, they're there trying to make a money off of the taxi man themselves.
And the whole government system, I make Mr. Patterson, I get ticket. You see him like how you hear the star and you hear the taxi man them attack. You confuse based upon a ticket make me stop run taxi, you know.
Yes.
Me never sleep a day in a jail yet. Never. The closest me go to prison since we start run taxi. That are the closest me get. Me nearly get to go to prison by running taxi. And it's a lawful thing, law-abiding thing me I do. My lawful job to send my children them to school, pay my mortgage, do all kind of stuff. Me's a law-abiding citizen. People will know them, know me. You understand?
Mr. Myrie, let's break it down for the people now. If you're running a taxi, you have to get what?
No, insurance. That is one.
So insurance,
So every car have insurance. License, fitness. Fitness. All right. You have to have a badge. Tracking device. You have to have the tracking device as well.
Tracking device, yes.
Road license.
How is a road license different from license?
Oh, the road license that apply to a PPV taxi. That would have been taxi, yeah.
PPV. So you need a special PPV license. So you have your
Right.
regular license, you have your regular driver's license, and then you have a PPV license as well.
You have a PPV license.
In addition to your regular license that you would have had as a driver.
No, the same license, you know, but
Same license.
but what happen, you have to have PPV on it.
Right.
So if you have a
to upgrade
general,
it.
if you have a general, you have to upgrade it to PPV.
Right, good. So you have to upgrade it to that. So you have your insurance, your license, your PPV upgrade, your fitness, your badge, and your tracking device.
Yeah, and as well, before you get the badge, you have to look about a police record. You have to get that. You have to get out that police record to in order to see that your record clean. That's you can get a badge. And suppose you have something else to do now. That same police record, you know, where you look about just to get the badge. Now you have to go look out and next police record again. You know?
Yeah. So they have duplication. So very inefficient. Very inefficient.
Yeah.
Now on top of that, you went and borrowed some money to buy a car.
Yeah.
A vehicle. So you borrow some money to buy a vehicle, right? So you have to pay for the vehicle. You have your vehicle payment to make, right?
Yeah.
And then now you have to pay maintenance. You have to maintain your vehicle from the bad road. That's all.
And the maintenance serious, Mr. Patterson.
Yeah. Because the road bad.
No road.
Yeah. So every time you drive, you dodge pothole. You can't miss all of them. So you're dropping in a some, your shocks are mash up, your undercarriage get damaged, and your tires are wear out fast, your axles get damaged. So a whole heap of maintenance costs. Okay.
Maintenance.
So because the system is not designed properly by the government, you now have the added burden of being a criminal by virtue of their inefficiency. So their inefficiency and their ineffectiveness, their failure to design a proper system cause you even more cost, because now you have the tickets, you have the vehicle seizures, you have the price for record fees, you have the possibility of jail time, you have the anxiety and stress of having to look over your shoulder. So they really stress you out, which lowers the quality of service to the commuting public. Right? Am I right?
Yeah. I feel look out for him. That is a 2 time I get hold. Yeah. 2 time I get.
Go ahead.
Hold up. By criminal.
Oh.
Huh?
Okay. 2 time you get hold up by criminal.
Hello? No 2 time I get hold up. 2 time. By criminal. And the 2 time I get hold up, them take what they care of them. The 2. So
goodness.
What happened? I decide I never either go back in a taxi thing. But based on all the that I know, so I went back in it in 2021. About February, I start back again. That's last year.
Wow.
And because my family have.
Yeah, man.
I get all up by gunfight 2 times. Could I lose my life?
My goodness. Hold on
You
one
understand,
second.
huh?
1 second, Mr. Myrie.
Yeah?
Mike Cardo, can you hear me? 1 second. Mike Cardo? Mike Cardo, can you hear?
Okay.
Mike Cardo, can you hear me? All right. His voice is not coming through and the video. Backstage, can you see if you can fix it for me with Mr. Mike Cardo? Yes, back to you, Mr. Myrie. So far, we've spoken about what is causing the ticket problem. I heard that some people have their vehicles seized and they have to pay a record fee and all kind of stuff. Tell me about that. What is happening there? Go ahead, Mr. Myrie. Can you tell me what's happening with the
What happened?
vehicle
My
seizure?
vehicle, I never got. My vehicle never seized yet because I always try to have paperwork straight. But I'll bring contrary to your once them say use a contrary supposed to say if and you understand that truth. So they do them will seize your vehicle and keep coming and you will have to pay money and stuff like that. I know the whole procedure about the vehicle because my vehicle never get seized before. You understand? The whole 100 body.
Yes.
So I couldn't tell you exactly how it go about.
No problem. There
The
was
seizing
a
like that.
there was an
Probably based upon say for instance.
we appear to have a delay. We have a delay
yeah,
in the connection.
Think let me
Yeah, we have a delay in the connection. Can you hear me clearly? All right, people on the live, can you hear me clearly? Mic check. Can you hear me clearly? Am I breaking up? All right, Mr. Myrie, the next question I have for you is this. I wanted to know, there was a situation where the government was charging some fee for a few years, but they were breaking the law. Do you remember that situation?
Some fee.
Yeah, there was some kind of PPV fee that they were charging for your vehicle. I think it was a PPV fee that they were charging, but it was wrong, and they went and changed the law subsequently. Do you remember about that? You don't recall?
Oh, I heard about it. Right. Yeah, but I don't know fullness about it, so I'm try to get into that. I don't know the whole thing.
No problem. All right.
Yeah, I don't know the full.
Okay, the issue of the over-ticketing now. What is it that drives the over-ticketing? Is it situations like what you mentioned earlier, where the police just trying to spite you? Why would they give one guy got 23 tickets?
The over-ticketing thing, Mr. Party said it does simple by just stop and pick up somebody. Stop and pick up or stop and let off somebody. That's basically them type of ticket they get. I mean, some driver, you know, some driver with 5, 6. You know, that a lot of law-abiding driver will do them thing. But the moment you stop and let off somebody or pick up somebody, the police come up on you, tickets, and the ticket them range from $5,000 to $3,000.
Yeah.
And you get 2 or 3 of that. And you have to skill. May I tell you have to skill to get a ticket.
Right.
You have to skill. Right now, Mr. Patterson, I am literally not running taxi right now. I use my taxi, you know, but me not out there every day again because school open up and I start school children. Enter you out there and I do taxi. A criminal work, other man. Them make taxi work like criminal for do it.
Wow. Yes. So they have turned
taxi man are the criminal right now, based upon this system.
Yes. So tell me, do you agree that maybe they're doing this as a form of increasing government revenues as well? Do you think they have quotas that they need to make, you know? Like the police, they might be making quotas that they're told to bring in.
Extra. Yeah, man. Basically that a straight up
Yeah.
extortion I
So
go on,
let me under-
Mr. Pat. Straight up extortion.
so
Started by the government.
so the
by the-
government is using so the government is using the police to increase their revenues. So it's not really about public safety and ensuring that we have law and order. It is about extorting one segment of society. Yeah? Okay.
No,
Okay.
extortion.
Okay. Now
Yeah.
do you think it is fair? Do you
Straight
think
up
it is fair
extortion.
for Do you think it is fair for you, the taxi operator, to have to ensure that your vehicle is fit, but the road isn't fit that you're driving on? Is it fair for you to have a fit vehicle, but the government doesn't have to give you a fit road?
It is not fair because travel overseas, Mr. Pattis, and I amongst family, and I never see people visit garage so regular overseas. Out here, trust me. All the time you know want to go there, you have to go. Are there? Two of them I go buy 4 shacks for the same 7 seats of how much? I think a $51,000 for the 4 shack.
Right. Wow.
51,000.
Wow.
And we get discounted.
Wow.
We get a discounted sorry. We get a discounted price. I think about 45,000 pay for.
So from a profitability standpoint,
what happened that the kind of dates for sure.
yeah. From a profitability standpoint,
I mean, no fear, Mr. Pattis. Don't fear none.
How are you? How are you profitable as a taxi operator in this?
You cannot profit
How
out
does
of
a person become profitable? Yeah,
I mean,
because you are at a great disadvantage. You're at a great disadvantage because when you look at your cost structure, the amount of cost you have to incur from all of the fees, the gas, the maintenance, and then you have to hide from police to make a money. That doesn't sound too profitable to me.
I mean, if you regularize things properly, John, if you are all right, you have proper road. If you have proper road, you have somewhere where taxi man can go and can operate freely. I think probably you can make some money out of it. But based upon how it's set right now, no. And a lot of youth out there right now, them are work for people.
To pay back the loan. All right. You're breaking up a lot. Yeah, you're breaking up a lot. I can't hear you clearly. But hold on for a little bit. Hold on for a bit. 1 minute. Let me see if is Micardo, can you hear me?
Okay.
Micardo? All right, so we still can't hear Micardo. I'm not sure why. That's another taxi operator that we wanted to speak to. But my friends, here's what I'm seeing right now. Here's what I'm seeing happening in the industry. The government has failed to put in place a streamlined, clear, systematic, and efficient process of persons being picked up and dropped off from taxis. They have failed to put in place proper road design, proper road construction, and proper road maintenance. Yeah. Yes, we can have Mr. McCarter call in by phone. Just let him call me directly on my phone, please. And we'll talk to him there. So they failed to put in place a proper design, both of the road and of the process by which taxi operators should process. They have loaded the taxi operator with a lot of cost, some of them reasonable and necessary, and some of them not so necessary, or even if they're necessary, it's cost that the taxi operator has to recover. Now put yourself in the position of the taxi operator. When you go out and borrow money to buy a vehicle, and then you have, to pay insurance, license, fitness, badge, tracking device, PPV upgrade, police record, all the things that you have to go into. And then on top of that, now, as you drive your vehicle, because of the bad road, you're paying a huge amount for maintenance costs. It means you're going to be doing everything possible to recoup your cost as fast as possible. And you're trying to make a mad rush and dash in order to get as many customers as possible from point A to point B to make your money. Now, what Jamaica would need is a government which has good sense, understand logistics, understand economics, and understand human behavior to design a system that would ensure that the commuting public will have a safe access to public transportation, comfortable public transportation, timely public transportation, and cost-effective public transportation. The government has to design that. And so far, they have demonstrated that they lack the capacity to design such a system. Now, there are many countries that have overcome all of these problems. Many, many countries, not just Jamaica. Many, many countries have overcome all of these problems. I want to show you one of those countries right now. You probably can guess which one I'm going to show you. But let's take a look. I hope I can get this this particular this particular screen to share, and we're going to take a look. Let's take a look here. Oops. There we go.
Hey friends, welcome back to my channel. In this video, I will introduce you to Singapore's transit system. On your screen, you are now seeing Singapore's MRT map. MRT is short for Mass Rapid Transit, also known as Metro in some places. MRT stations are strategized in close proximity to densely populated places and transports millions of commuters on a daily basis. There are currently 6 MRT lines which provide great connectivity across entire Singapore. The lines are color-coded and have multiple interconnections to allow smooth switch between different lines. Singapore's commercial area or downtown region has the highest connectivity as all the lines converge in this area, providing lesser commute time between home and work. Let me take you on a short trip from Jalan Besar to Telok Ayer. On your left, you can see the ticket counters. This counter can be used to purchase the standard ticket, check your balance, or recharge your card. You can also purchase travel cards called as EasyLink card from the passenger service counter, which is usually located next to the entry gate. Let's head to the platform. I will tap my EasyLink card for the gate to open. Since there are 2 platforms with the trains running in opposite directions, you can check on your route before hopping in the train. My train will come at platform A. The frequency of trains is quite good and usually between 2 to 6 minutes. Here's my train. Currently, due to COVID, you can see lot of empty seats, but the trains are usually crowded, especially during the peak hours. You can also find several charging points at the stations. While tapping your card for exit, You can see your fare and remaining balance. There are bus stops near each MRT exit for you to continue your journey. You can also find taxi stands near the stations. These are all the bus numbers that pass through this stop. Route of each bus number can be seen at these boards. Bus stops near MRT stations or bus interchanges are marked along the stop name. It's quite easy to navigate the route using the index to the roads. For example, if you want to travel to Bayfront Avenue from this stop, you can take bus route numbers 97, 97E, 106 and 133. Fares are also affordable and usually cost up to $1.50. Here comes my bus. You enter from the front door and pay the fare via cash or tap your EasyLink card at the terminal. One interesting thing to know is that you can switch between MRT and bus and vice versa, and continue the fare within 45 minutes. If you see closely, I paid $1.02 for my train journey from Jalan Besar to Tilok Ayer. At my point of exit, since the distance was not much, my fare for this bus ride was $0. I hope you liked my video. For any questions related to Singapore's public transit system,
All right, so that was a quick touch on Singapore. They focus more on the train system and then the interconnection with the bus. They didn't get into the taxi piece. But I wanted to get a flavor and a taste for a government that is carefully and deliberately designing a system to work for the people of their country. In Jamaica, we have not benefited from having a government that either has the capacity or the interest to have the capacity to carefully design a public transportation system that will serve the people. Generally speaking, the public transportation system we have in Jamaica has no regard for the citizens. They treat us like pigs, like animals. You understand? The same way they keep the country dirty or dirty, to use our language, is the same way the transportation sector is miserable. It is not designed with the love and care for the people of Jamaica to want to make sure that we, the people, have, accessible, comfortable, timely transportation that we can be proud of. So the UIC will take us in a very different direction. We're going to build a transportation system that is designed with you in mind, the people in mind. So we're going to balance the interest of the taxi operators, of the bus operators, and of course the interest of the commuting public. And the government must play a role, which is a facilitator. So it's not about generating revenues for the government. It must be about generating a good environment for the citizens to be able to have a comfortable and efficient transport system to move around. I have someone here waiting to talk with me on the line that I'm going to bring in now. He's another taxi operator. We're going to listen to him and hear his concerns. He was one of the taxi operators that was actually today out in the streets, and you probably saw him on the video from the Star earlier on. Let's hope I can get him now. So we're just calling through here. Mr. Myrie, is your connection any better now? Yeah, not hearing you, not hearing you. You're muted. Unmute yourself. All right, I'm not getting him now. Can you hear me, Sir Myrie? I can't hear you at all. I don't know what happened to your sound. No. All right, Mr. Harper backstage. Can you try to get the gentleman again for me? He called me, but I'm not getting him now. He's not picking up. Okay. I see Mr. Myra's wife look like helping him there. What would we do without our wives? Yes. So as I was saying, while we're waiting for everybody to be connected, the whole idea of a public transportation system is really to make it easier for commuters to connect between home and work and other activities. Good night, Poshan Elliot. Good night, AMG. Good night. What do we have here? One Love Kingston. Good night, Demel. Demel says, very true. Unsanitary vehicles with no schedules, trying to pack as much people as they can in there. And the government, give the taxi operators a bad name, because what's really happening, my people, is a bad system begets bad behavior. So if you have a bad system, if the system is not designed optimally, it is going to cause people to behave certain way. So for example, if you don't plan carefully where people should load and unload from vehicles and make sure it makes sense, then you'll have a problem. Here we go. Hello.
Yes, Professor.
Wonderful, sir. Good night to you again, and welcome back to the program. Could you please, for the benefit of our listeners, tell us your name, please?
Okay, my name is Micardo Portuando.
Portuando. So Micardo, right? Micardo?
No, not Nick. It's a Mick, M-I-K.
Micardo, Portuando. Wonderful.
Yeah.
How long have you been a taxi driver?
It's going to be 14 years now.
14 years. So you are a veteran in the business.
Yes, I could say so.
Wonderful. So tell us, what is the number one concern of taxi drivers? What is the main reason why today and yesterday taxi drivers decided to go on strike, if you will? Mm-hmm. What's the number one reason?
Number one reason is the tickets, The tickets is the number one reason.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a lot of reasons behind, besides the tickets too.
Mm-hmm. But tell us first about the tickets. What is the problem with the tickets? What is causing it? What's happening?
Okay, most of the police officers. All right, a lot of people tend to say taxi drivers drive reckless and have the worst thing to say about taxi drivers, right? I agree, you do have some taxi drivers that give taxi drivers that bad name. I agree with that.
Mm-hmm.
But what I'm saying is, you have plenty of police officers out there taking advantage of their power and giving us some tickets that is not necessary at times, or sometimes the taxi man is not to be blamed for the act which they've been prosecuted for.
Yes, give us some examples of what they ticket you for.
All right, for example, now the badge is not very easy to get. Transport, I don't know what's happening with them, but when they apply for a badge, first they're telling you that it was a case that you have to go to school and class, and it was so tedious that, not saying that the taxman wouldn't try to do that, the taxman would agree and try to do that, But look at it now, a man have his kids at home and to stop to go to school and all of that. It's very, 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 that's going to be very hackling for him. Right? So they did a thing the other day over the bus park where they say you come and you sign up for it and you get a receipt. And that receipt is basically valid as in just as you would have the badge. Right?
Okay.
So once you have that receipt, if a transport authority person that stops you, that receipt could show that receipt and you're okay.
Okay.
No, that same receipt, when I show a police officer, he's telling you that receipt is not an actual badge and still go ahead and give you a ticket for $800.
Okay. So what they're saying is, and I'm repeating this for the benefit of our listeners and viewers, as a taxi operator, you need to have a badge. And that badge is to say that you are certified to drive a taxi. right? That's the purpose of the badge.
Passenger vehicle, yes.
Right. So you can go to school for that badge while you're a taxi driver, or you have to get the badge before you become a taxi driver.
That was the procedure. You have to take some class
Before.
I didn't fully get the full understanding.
Yeah.
But when they said the class, I tell them that I didn't have that time to go to class because I had my bills to pay and stuff to stop.
Yeah.
I went to class and I wasn't driving the car. The car wasn't mine. I didn't own the car. I was working for somebody at that point. So it was very hard to take time off to go to class to get a badge.
So hold on. So how it worked was this: you were always a taxi driver, and then one day they changed the rule and say now you need to have a badge, right? And in order for you to get that badge, you have to go to classes, right?
You have to go to classes.
But in reality, you were already a taxi driver before this. The laws now change, and you still needed to balance getting to class versus getting a money to feed your family.
Exactly.
Okay. And so now they change the rules again and say, listen, you can come now and get a receipt to show that you have paid some money, I guess, to take the class.
That you're in the process of applying for the badge, but once you have the receipt,
yes,
you're good to go.
Right. So the transport authority says once you have the receipt that shows that you're in the process of getting the badge, you are legitimate on the road.
Yes, you can work with the receipt.
Right. And then the police now, they disregard that altogether and say, we don't care whether you have receipt or not. If you're not in possession of the badge, we're going to ticket you. The actual badge.
You're going to be prosecuted.
And now let's say police number one find you with a receipt and charge you $800, and you drive one block down the road, and another policeman catch you again, and you still have only the receipt. Him can charge you $800 too.
Right, and they don't care. So you would just drive for the whole day, and then if you're unlucky to buck up in different police that want to see an actual badge.
Yes.
For the day you can accumulate up to $5,000 worth of badge tickets.
Exactly. So now, do we still have the situation where a police might use that in order to extort you?
Of course. Definitely.
So basically, just off the record here, we're not going to say it happened for sure, but it is very possible a policeman may just use that to pull a money out of you.
Right, but you see now, to tell you the truth,
yes,
that part, I wouldn't want to go down the line of that part,
right,
with the extortion, because once I'm not saying it's not happening on the road.
Yes.
But for my personal self right now, I haven't experienced that
right
for a good while now.
Right,
for a good time now.
Because
not saying that has not happened to me, but
yes,
for a good time since I've gotten my PPV red plate and my PPV lights and everything.
Mm-hmm.
That kind of phased down right now.
Right, it's less. Yes, because we have also.
I'm very close to being fully legal. It's just right now I don't have a badge. I had the receipt the other day, but I lost my wallet with the receipt. So I'll try and get back another receipt again.
Right. So your contention is, just to get this part clear for everybody, your contention is that one, there's a disconnect between the police and the transport authority in terms of recognizing the receipt, and two, the police is behaving, in your opinion, excessive in the amount of charges they're laying on people like yourself for not having the badge yet, right?
Definitely, and the badge does the badge alone.
Right.
For example, let me give you another example.
Yes.
Say you drive on the taxi stand on North Odeon, right? And there's a lot of the road is blocked up with private users and the taximan trying to get on the little stand because the stand is not enough. It's a very small stand for all the taxi that's out there.
Okay.
It's not enough, right? So you driving now on North Odeon now and a passenger, without your acknowledgement, opens your door, right?
Yes.
and exits the vehicle. There come no officer come to you now. Driver documents and license and documents. You're like, what did I do, officer? And he's gonna say to you, obstructing of traffic because you're letting off in the road. And you're like, officer, I didn't tell the person to come out the vehicle, you know, and I can't control somebody to exit or enter the vehicle. Right?
Right.
And right there now, you're gonna get a ticket for obstructing traffic. Then you're gonna ask if do you have a badge, and the list goes on. If it's one of those police officers that like to pressure you, not saying that it's all of them. You have a couple of them who have conscience out there, you know.
Yeah.
But it's just a few. Majority of them don't have any conscience.
So basically, what I'm hearing here is this: you have another problem where the taxi stand where you're supposed to go as a taxi is limited in capacity. Is that what I'm hearing?
Right. The price side resort tax tire. Understand where I work.
Yeah.
You have 20 car park there, Barbican car park there, price side car park there, Whitehall car park there. And to tell you the truth, it's not even a taxi stand. It's just the owner of the gas station give us a blind because he don't want us to block up inside the gas station. So he just give us that little corridor right there.
So hold on.
And the bus park right there.
So this is not even a government designated area. This is a private citizen, a business person, allowing you access to his property to pick up and drop off people because him trying to cope with the situation. It's not a designated area. So the government
so
then,
hold on, I don't want to cut you. It's basically helping us out more than even the government because
exactly.
The government do not want to give us a taxi stand or a park.
So hold on. So the government has given you a permission. Okay, the government has said to you, to the Jamaican people, we will give persons a PPV license to operate as a taxi. We will cause them to incur a lot of costs from borrowing money to buy the vehicle, paying insurance, licensing, getting fitness, putting on tracking device, getting badge, getting police record check. All of these costs we're going to put on you, plus the cost of driving on the bad road. But we're not going to make sure there's a clear and effective way for you to pick up and let off customers. That's what I'm hearing. Is that correct?
All of that, and they don't give us a designated area to park to do our job.
And then we're going to now have the police hound you down and ticket you as much as possible to get extra money out of you on top of all of those other costs you have paid already. Yeah?
Exactly.
And now what they're doing then, by doing that, they're making you into a criminal and they're putting customers at risk and they're reducing the quality of service because now, as a taximan, I'm going to talk now from the heart, right? As a human being. As a human being, you have to figure out how to make a money in all of this situation here. It's not like you're a bad person, but you have to figure out, how am I going to survive? So you are going to have to drive as fast as possible to pick up as many people as possible to cover your costs. You're going to be tempted at every point. You don't want to miss a customer, because you never know where the next one going to come from. You never know where the next time you're going to be ticketed and have to pay $800 or $1,600 or $2,500. So you have to run jostle as much as possible now to try to eke out an existence, to try to make the economics work for you. And in the process, you are stressed out, your passengers are stressed out, and the road conditions in terms of traffic becomes mayhem because now you have not just you, but 200 other taxi drivers trying to do the same thing. And this now creates a nightmare for all of us while the politicians sit in their air-conditioned offices and have chauffeur drivers and security at the cost of you and me.
They don't care about us right now. To tell you the truth, I am hoping I'm hoping for this party right here get real justice, and as long as they're with the people and for the people. I have never voted in my life yet because I don't see the reason to vote. I don't see progress in none of the parties. So if I see a party that's aiming to progress and for the people and with the people, I will vote for them.
Absolutely. And I tell you something too. This party, the UIC, is not like any other. We're not bought and paid for by the PSOJ oligarchy. We are owned by the people of Jamaica, so we have to defend you. And so what we have to do now, on September 22nd, tell all of your taxi driver friend them, on September 22nd, we are going to have a walk for good governance now, because it's bad governance why you and your family and fellow taxi drivers are suffering. Because there's no reason why the government of Jamaica cannot take the time to properly design a system that does not create onerous responsibilities for anybody, whether it's the drivers of taxis or the passengers themselves. All they have to do is to have designated pick-up and drop-off zones that make sense. It must be logical. It must be based on logistics. It must be based on the population arrangement, how much people you have traveling this route. So, for example, tell me if I'm wrong, don't many people find out that they just kind of pick a location that makes sense to them, and that's where most of them congregate and wait for a taxi? That's how it goes.
That's exactly right at the gas station, because we don't have a park, so that's where the gas station owner gave us and it's been years we've been asked for a parking area and we have been denied. And to tell you the truth, Mr. Patterson, it was worse than this before.
Yes.
They gave us the type of road license we have is called an active carriage.
Mm-hmm.
And do you believe that on the road license it states that we are allowed to operate within St. Andrew, St. Catherine, and the Kingston area?
Mm-hmm.
And do you believe that they're saying that we are not supposed to stop at a bus stop and pick up anybody? You believe that?
I believe anything that these guys will do, anything to mess up our lives. So you cannot go and pick up a person at a bus stop.
It's just the other day they kind of free it up away. So it's like they give us a small blight and take it back. Give us a small blight with one hand and take it back with two hands. I don't understand what they're doing. It's like they have us on the edge to always, begging or something. There's have us like
oppression. They want to always oppress the people. That they always want to oppress the people, press you into a corner. Well, we're going to fix that. We're going to fix that. This has to stop. Somebody is saying that we need to get the police on the call. If there are any police officers out there, please contact the number 2930812. So somebody in our back office can connect you with me. So please contact the number 876-293-0812 or 471-6598 and let us hear your side of the story. So far, the side of the story from the taxi operators is quite clear. We have a government that does not care about designing a system that works for the people of Jamaica, that is equitable, fair, and balanced for the taxi operators, and that will cause us to have a safe, clean, and orderly and comfortable transportation system. Mr. McCarter, thank you very much for your time, sir. Have a good night, and looking forward to working with you. See you on the 22nd, downtown Kingston at the Ward Theatre if you can. All right?
Okay, no problem, Mr. Patterson.
Thank you, sir.
For your time too.
My pleasure.
And I would just love to see this thing work out.
Yes, man.
Because we've been suffering for plenty years now.
78 years. 78 years of suffering, and it must come to an end now. Thank you, sir. Take care. All the best.
Okay, Mr. Patterson.
Good. All right, my friends, there you have it. Another taxi driver explaining to us their sufferation. Let me see if Mr. Myrie is back. Mr. Myrie, can you hear me now? Check your voice. Your microphone fixed? No? Yes, we can hear you, but you're breaking up. Say something else.
Oh, somebody just called me.
Yeah, man, I can hear you now, loud and clear. I can hear you now. Can you hear me? All right. So we learned a lot from that caller a while ago. We learned the police is over ticketing, and that they're probably doing it as a form of victimization. I can hear you, Mr. Myrie. A form of victimization, and also what now? How do you say this? The police is not working in concert with the transport authorities, and the government is not ensuring that the taxi operators have clarity about where they can pick up and drop off persons, and they're not providing appropriate areas for them to do drop off and pickups. And they have also not allowed them to stop at bus stops. Now, when I travel around Kingston in particular, I don't see buses every minute at the bus stop. So it's logical to me that it would make sense for you to allow the taxi operators to use the same bus stops as the buses at a minimum to do their picking up and drop offs. But, there might be something we're missing. So we'd love to hear some more from somebody else. What is clear to me, though, is that the government of Jamaica appears to lack the capacity to design anything that works. You look back at everything that we've done in Jamaica. You look at all of the processes that we have and see how many things they've been able to manage. They could not manage Air Jamaica, so we lost it. They could not manage our airports, so we lost them. They tried to manage our agriculture, and we've lost every sector for the most part that they have controlled, whether it's banana or orange or cocoa or coconut or whatever, anything they touch, cane, whatever it is that the government controls, we lose it. They had JPS, we lost that. So something is wrong. And, what bothers me is that the government that we have today is the same one that we've had for 78 years. The same two set of people, the same two organizations have been in charge of our government for 78 years. And somehow they have not been able to figure out how to build roads, how to design roads, how to maintain roads. They have not figured out how to get sidewalks properly designed and maintained. They have not figured out how to put street lights in all of our communities. They have not figured out how to have a licensing system that people can get their license without buying them for the most part. They have not figured out how to build a public transportation system that is easy for all of us to use, that is accessible, that is clean, that is comfortable. They have not been able to figure out anything at all that any reasonable government should be able to figure out. So my question to you is, how much more time should we give them? How many more years should we give them to figure out these basic things? How to keep us safe, how to make it so we don't need grills on our homes when we go to bed at night, how to make it so that shops can be open well past 6 o'clock and everything is okay, how to make it so that our crime rate is not 56 murders per 100,000, but 0.2 or so like Singapore. How much more time do we need to give them? I don't understand. There's a video I want you to watch. I hope we have it. It's a video about our upcoming event. I'm hoping that our team backstage is able to bring it on for us as I invite you all to help us to have a very, very big launch of our Good Governance Now campaign. We're expecting groups from all across the country, different groups, to participate in this civil walk for good governance now. We're trying to say loud and clear to all of ourselves. We're talking to us now, the people of Jamaica. We're saying enough is enough. We have put up with this thing for too long. If you had a company and you hired somebody to manage the company, let's say you're the shareholders and you hired a management team to manage your company. And let's say for whatever reason, you only had 2 management teams to choose from. And you kept choosing between the 2 teams. And every time you put them in to manage the company, profitability decrease, productivity decrease, internal controls are weakened, and overall the company just stagnates and isn't able to keep up with other companies in the same industry. At some point soon, you would have wanted to fully terminate those 2 sets of management team that you have been accessing. Maybe within the first, 5 years, you would have gotten rid of them. Maybe in the first 10 years, maybe 15 years. Now, I'd be shocked if you went 20 years with them. I'd be even more dumbfounded if you went 50 years with them. But in the case of the 2 management teams that Jamaica has been using, it is now 78 years that we have been suffering under their hands. I believe the time has come for us to say enough is enough. And on September 22nd, I'll be walking with all Jamaicans who believe we have had enough, and we're going to demand, not of those 2 managers, those 2 management teams. We're not demanding anything of them. We're demanding something of ourselves now. We, the people of Jamaica, have to take matters into our own hands. We have to decide that we have had enough. We can't ask those who have failed to do better. They just can't do any better. They have shown us year after year after year what they're made of. And they clearly cannot manage this country. They clearly cannot bring us the kind of country we need, a country that is safe, a country that is clean and beautiful, a country that is orderly, a country with a transportation sector, a public transportation sector that is accessible, that is comfortable, that is reliable, one that is properly scheduled to run from east to west and north to south, one that has a good mix of high-speed rail, buses, taxis, a ferry service, and so on. One where, for the size of our country, we don't need a toll road because we have a small amount of land to dedicate to roads, and we can't afford to disenfranchise a large segment of our society by making it inexpensive for them to travel on our best roads. Yeah, like a highway connecting us from one side to the next. So the UIC is calling upon all Jamaicans to join together with us and say, enough is enough. We want good governance now. And we're no longer going to ask those 2 management teams to give it to us. We're going to take it for ourselves. We are going to take control of our country, and we are going to give ourselves the good governance that we deserve. So on September 22nd at 10 a.m., meet me at the Ward Theatre, right at the front. And then together we're going to travel to Heroes Circle, where we shall take a moment to show respect for our 5 national heroes, those who truly fought for freedom and died in the pursuit of it, including the most notable Marcus Mosiah Garvey, and great men and women like Nani, Sam Sharp, Gordon, and of course, Paul Bogle. From there, we're going to walk all the way up to Emancipation Park, where we'll make a clear statement that we're now going to emancipate ourselves from the mental slavery of depending on those who are committed to our colonial masters to free us. We're not going to have any further dependence on them. We want Jamaica to be a true republic now. And then from Emancipation Park, we shall walk to Mandela Park in Halfway Tree. And there I will give a speech, one that will outline for the Jamaican people how we're going to move this country from the wasteful, corrupt, and dilapidated state it is in into a truly magnificent first-class country with a first-class public transportation system, a first-class system of governance, a first-class education system, a first-class public maintenance system. So we have clean streets, good sidewalks, solar-powered street lights in all communities, a fixed address for every single citizen, something as simple as that, which we don't have, a fixed address, and a country where all of our young people, when they leave school, they're able to be enrolled in a meaningful activity that keeps them outside of gangs. We're going to have a police service, not a police force, a police service that is going to serve, protect, and most importantly, respect the people of Jamaica. And we're going to have an armed forces, which is going to ensure our borders are protected, so no more illegal guns or ammunitions can come in to our country. We're going to have teachers again, men and women who walk and behave in a manner that students and parents and communities can respect. They're going to have the kind of salaries that is befitting those who are teaching the nation's future leaders and scientists and engineers and all sector of workers. We're going to have police officers who are community-based, who are highly respected by their community because they're the best of us and they're well-trained, they have the right kind of mental attitude, and their lifestyle is befitting that of one who's responsible for protecting the nation. We're going to have a new Jamaica where we're no longer beggars, we're no longer dependent on other race. We're going to be self-reliant. We're going to be a Jamaica with our own well-developed organic food industry, a Jamaica with a wide-based community tourism product that embraces all of Jamaica and makes all of Jamaica the all-inclusive product. And we're going to have a Jamaica that is water secure, food secure, and energy secure because we can do it. We have the capacity to do it. And I, for one, will not sit around any longer and wait for those who want to make us dependent on others to get it done. We, the Jamaican people, have the capacity to do it. We, the Jamaican people, must do it. We, the Jamaican people, must now depend on ourselves to get it done and stop asking those who are committed to bowing down and worshiping monarchs, other nations, as their kings and as their queens, and who want us to mourn when those who have been our enslavers, who have robbed us, who have raped us, who have enslaved us, they want us to mourn for them when they pass. No, we're done with that. All them foolishness they're done. We shall no longer subject ourselves to such degrading way of thinking. We must accept history for what it is. We must learn from history, and we must rise above the history of slavery. We must end the system of slavery in our minds now. We must break off the shackles of slavery from our minds now. And we must embrace our destiny as a people that are able to govern themselves well, that can build a better economy, that can build a better education system, that can build a better security system than was given to us or imposed upon us by those colonial powers that have so far figured out how to manipulate, degrade, and suppress us. The time has come to end that. And I'm asking each and every one of you who are listening to take a personal position tonight that you will no longer allow yourself to be tricked by those who have tricked us for 78 years using our own people, and who have tricked us before that for some 400 years using their people. The time has come for us to shed that skin, bury that past, and build a bold new future. one that will make Jamaica the first ever non-partisan constitutional republic of the world, where we protect the individual sovereignty of all of our citizens, and where we ask every one of us to be personally responsible for the choices that we make, and where as a collective we find a way to build the economy that we want, to build the houses our people need, to build the schools our children need, to build the healthcare system that transcends the pharmaceutical solutions and allow us to once again understand how to use what we have here, our God-given resources, to heal the nation. We can do it. We must do it. We have the capacity to do it. Let us rise up on September 22nd and leave no doubts in the minds of any single solitary Jamaican that we have turned the corner, and say goodbye to those who want to keep us under the colonial system. Let's say goodbye to that colonial system and say hello to a real new Jamaica. Do we have that video to play now? I wonder. Please go ahead. Thank you so much. It appears that there was no sound. I couldn't hear anything, so I'm not too sure why that is. Are we able to get some sound, Mr. Selector? Any sound? There is no sound coming from it a while ago. Yeah, still no sound. No. Okay, so, well, that was a silent moment. I'm sorry that you weren't able to hear the sound, but the essence of it is I think was captured in the notes there. But here's the thing. We're in a serious Jamaica right now. And in closing, I want to point out something very important to you. You should have seen it already. They have decided, the private sector organization of Jamaica, the elites among them, I call them the oligarchs, they have decided that the Jamaican people should not hear from the UIC. Right? They have decided, and they have worked assiduously to make sure that the Jamaican people do not know or hear from the UIC. They, working through their two sides of the same coin and working through the media that they control, they have ensured that the UIC is excluded from the conversation. They just did a poll recently, and the poll only focused on the two sides of the coin they want you to focus on. They're working very hard to make sure that Jamaican people believe they have no options but the two options that the PSOJ oligarchs have presented to them. They're paying for those two options to make sure that they lock you into those two options. They do not want the Jamaican people to know that the UIC exists, and so they have tried everything possible to keep us out of the public's view. They do not include us in the news cycle. They do not include us in the polls. They do not include us in anything at all. They don't even mention our name. They're trying very, very hard to make sure that nobody knows. But guess what? You know. And if you tell 10 persons, and those 10 persons tell 10 persons, you see what's going to happen. The UIC has to be spread by word of mouth. Yes, we're on TikTok. Yes, we're on Facebook. Yes, we're on Twitter. Yes, we're here on YouTube. But even those algorithms are being manipulated by the powers that be to suppress the UIC. Okay? If you look closely, you will notice that they've suppressed our numbers on every channel. They're working overtime to make sure that even on social media, where you think we should be able to gain visibility, they're trying very hard to suppress our visibility there. Why are they doing this? Why don't they want to know about the UIC? Because they know that the moment the Jamaican people realize that there is hope, the next poll that they do, it's going to say the two options that they want will be somewhere in the region of less than 30%. And the UIC will be somewhere in the region of around 50 to 60%. Why will that happen? Because the UIC has the answer for all of the problems that Jamaica face. Because the answer lies in good governance, something that these two parties will never provide. So my fellow Jamaicans, it is up to we, and that is why on September 22nd, we're not demanding anything of those two parties. We're demanding something of ourselves. So on the 22nd and before the 22nd, you and I need to use word of mouth, share with our family, our friends, our co-workers, and our enemies. Tell everybody and tell them to tell everybody that them know. And let's spread the word like wildfire. Share all of our video contents. Share all of our activities with everyone you know. I need your help also to find candidates, because one of the problems we have with candidates is that them don't have no money, which is true. They have made sure that they have impoverished the nation, that even the best among us don't have any money to participate in politics, even the best among us. We have put up a valiant fight, using every available inch of our resources to come to you and to make this party available. But they know that the people are poor. And so I thank God for the diaspora, all of you out there in Canada, the US, England, Sweden, the Cayman Islands, all over the place where you are. I thank God for your $25 a month. I thank God for your $10 a month. I thank God for your $50 a month. I thank God for your $100 a month. And for those of you who have gone up even higher, 500, 1,000, I thank God for all of you, because if it wasn't for you, Jamaica would have no hope at all. Because of you, we have now been able to hire 3 staff. We have 1 staff that's dedicated now to our marketing and PR. We have another staff which is dedicated to our finances and to our admin assistant role. And we have one staff that's dedicated to the overall operations of the UIC. That's making my life easier now, because before all of those tasks, myself and my wife had to be heavily engaged in. We're still heavily engaged, but we're looking forward to becoming less and less so I can deal with more strategic things and be out there more and being more visible and not having to be bogged down trying to get the operational things going. Thanks to you, we're getting in that direction because of your donations. Without your donations, we could not do this. Yes, I have done it for a number of years out of my own pocket, but that pocket has run dry. And thankfully, many of you have stepped up and you're now augmenting and helping to shift gears so we can do more. Please continue to give. And if you're not giving yet, start to give and help us to look for quality Jamaicans and convince them to offer themselves as candidates to run for the UIC in the next election. We need quality candidates, persons who are honest, persons who are committed to service, persons who are not in it for money, but want to serve their country. But most importantly, you need to know that without money, they can't serve you because they can't find the money to buy the gas. They can't find the money to buy the credits. They can't find the money to provide the refreshments and the supplies and all the other things that goes into running a campaign. We need your help if we're going to be able to run an effective campaign and have candidates in all of the divisions and the constituency. Okay, tomorrow night we'll do some Q&A. We're a bit late now, so thanks again for your time. Have a good evening and see you tomorrow. Take care. All the best.